Hello and welcome to UK Versus. Today is going to be the first in what I hope will be a running series of interviews with the artists behind Critical Role Heroes of Exandria, the first set of universes to have completely bespoke kind of art, I believe. The artists did some amazing work, and if you've been following them on Twitter, if you're following them on Blue Sky or any of the other social medias like Instagram, you'll have come across a lot of discussion from them and hype up. And UVS then posted a article thanking them with all of their social medias. So I decided to reach out to as many as I could to try and arrange interviews, either through audio, through video, through text, whatever I could, to try and gauge what their reaction has been to being cards, as well as kind of the process of working with UVS. Starting off this in hopefully series is Jhonatan Lechar, and he was responsible for the alt art secret rares. These amazing alt art cards that looked absolutely amazing, and I don't think I've heard anyone have a bad thing to say about them. And if you follow Lechar on Twitter, you'll see him doing his own breakdowns. So I sent out some questions and he has responded. So you will be getting double voices from me, unfortunately. I know a lot of you will not be appreciative of that, but Lechar has done some amazing work and I'm very appreciative of Lechar answering these questions for me. I sent over 10 questions and he has answered them all, and I'll go through them now. And if you have any follow-up questions, do feel free to reach out to them. They seem very eager to talk about their art. They're very passionate behind it, which is exactly what we're looking for. And we will be seeing some more of Lechar in the future, but we'll get into that. So I started off by asking Lechar to tell me a little bit about themselves and their history and how they got into art. His response: my name is Jhonatan Lechar. I am from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I grew up in the countryside of Rio, where there isn't much to do. I turned to art and making my own entertainment. I was always interested in creating, but ended up going into business school after high school. That lasted until I got my first job as an artist, and then I dropped out. Great to hear that Lechar had such a passion for art. Really cool to hear. So I moved on to tell me about your history with Critical Role. Were they already a fan of Critical Role, or were they an artist that already had a portfolio and UVS approached them to make Critical Role cards? And if they already were a Critical Role fan, what is one of their favorite moments and characters from the campaign? Lechar then said that they're a huge Critical Role fan. They discovered the streams during the pandemic while they were already through campaign 2. I think that's when they're preparing for TravelerCon, and then the pandemic hit and everything got delayed. They instantly fell in love with the cast and characters. They really appreciated how much content there was to watch during the time when there wasn't much to do. This is also when they were doing narrative telephone and they were putting a lot of content out to keep people entertained. In terms of their favorite moments, one of their favorite moments that in Critical Role is where Caleb is being addressed by the Blight Queen and produces the dodecahedron. He instantly became Lechar's favorite character there. That is an absolute solid pick for moments. If it was a Telltale game, it would have one of those messages on console that says Caduceus Clay approves. It was an absolute blindside. It caught everyone off guard where he just reaches into the haversack and pulls out the dodecahedron. 100% agree with you, Lechar. That's one of the cementing moments that makes Caleb my favorite character as well. Although Jester is a very close second after that hag play. So then I started to move on to asking about UVS and the cards. So I asked, how did you become an artist for UVS? And what was the process like? And they responded with, the interesting thing is I discovered UVS because of previous cards they did for Critical Role. I looked up who the art director was, sent in my portfolio, and asked to be considered for next opportunities. I was really lucky and happy. It eventually led me to making a few cards for this Critical Role set. So, when we got the Critical Role Challengers last year, they were all done by Bad Moon Art Studios. Great job. They did a phenomenal job. Absolutely love the art on those guys there. As a huge Critical Role fan, it makes sense that if there's an art opportunity out there, especially one that's as niche as a card game, that you'd want to get your name on these cards and have them played, especially when you're looking at something like secret rares. But it's great that they took that initiative, that they, instead of waiting to be approached over it or going, I hope my stuff gets in there, they went, okay, who do I have to schmooze? Who do I have to get in contact with here to get my art on these cards? And you knocked it out of the park, buddy. So following up from that, I went with, when did you find out you would be an artist for the alternate art secret rares? And how did you feel knowing your cards were going to be some of the most sought after from the set? Lechar came in with a great response. I mean, it was insane. I was waiting for an opportunity to do anything critical. It's any artist's dream to work with something you genuinely enjoy and to know about. And so I jumped on the opportunity immediately. Moving into more about the cards, I asked, what were you told about the cards and the effect that they would have, and how did this influence you in any way? Lechar came in with another great response. I was extremely lucky to be to work with the art director Chris Relly, aka Hitch, because he really gave me the true freedom to create the cards. I got the names of the cards and the characters that were supposed to be in the artwork, and from then I just had to explore and try to create the coolest artwork possible. That's really cool. So all they were told was, this is the name, this is what the character needs to be on there. Go to town. So then, talk me through the process of creating the art. How did it go from conception to first draft, the changes that were made along the way? For example, how did Harness and Death go from a spark in your imagination to the masterpiece that we have? Immediately comes in with a thank you for the Harness and Death comments. The process was really fun. I was nervous at first, given the freedom to do what I usually do. That helped a lot. First, I got the info about the name of the card and who was going to be in it. Then I would start to work around thumbnail sketches, a basic, quickly drawn version of the final card. After the art director picked which one he liked best, so Hitch got to choose from the 4, I started working on making the card look pretty. Sometimes this meant adding a bit of 3D to help me plan things out. Sometimes I used a 2D focus process using align art and things like that. Each card took me about a week to make from start to finish. That's not an insignificant amount of time. That's a huge amount of time. Coming into the tail end of the conversation, I asked, are there any critical Easter eggs or references that are hidden in the cards that people may have missed? Unfortunately, there are no Easter eggs or references. This was his first freelance job, first time working on artwork for a game, and so they were more focused on the technical side and trying to make everything work as well as possible. So it did not really include any Easter eggs, but they'll make sure to try and include some next time. That was very interesting. So we followed up with a, so are we going to see you any more in the game? And yes, it looks like Lechar has been working on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff we're going to be getting in August. They're very excited for it, and it's also going to be his artwork on the packaging. So the packaging that we've seen for TMNT that I put in my theory on that we're going to get Bebop and Rocksteady, that I put in my initial announcement when it was added to the sell sheet for retailers, that is Lechar. That is the same person on the Alt Art SRs. That is their artwork, and let's go. If you are interested in Lechar's work, I did ask, is there any other projects or games or anything that they've been in so we can try and get them a bit more recognition? And yes, it looks like they've done quite a bit of work for Valorant and the League of Legends cinematics. So you can see some of the characters that they created and their illustrations. They helped a lot with a few of the episodes and the character reveal cinematics. I'm going to have to go back and take a look at that, because I did actually go through a lot for Project K stuff, looking at introductions and cinematics, so I would have to try and see if I can find some of those Lechar touches. And finally, I asked if they had any messages for us, the Universus community, any final words, anything that they wanted to let us know. And all Lechar would like to do is express a huge thank you. It's been great seeing people enjoying the cards. They really love seeing people... They really love having people send them images of the cards, showing off the cards and finding the cards out in the wild, just scrolling through social media. It's really exciting for me working on something and seeing how excited the fans of the games get about the release. Yeah, you knocked it out of the park, bud. And I cannot wait to see what you pull off for TMNT, and hopefully you have a long working relationship with UVS and we get to see more of this amazing art. I will link your Twitter down in the bottom below. I'm going to try and get a few more of these art interviews. I want to get a bit more I want to try and have this same rapport, find out a lot about these artists. UVS gave us the tools to go out and get this information, so I'm going to do it. So thank you, Lechar, for all your hard work. Thank you for taking the time to answer these questions and for constantly putting up with me, tagging you in any alt art secret rare I get and putting it up on Twitter. I absolutely love hearing your responses and getting to see the behind the scenes of the cards. I know you've done Harness on Death. I cannot wait to see the behind the scenes and the alternate versions that were on the table for things like Spellstorm. And yeah, shoot your shot. Lechar sent out information to UVS, and now their face is on cards. The worst they can say is no. I will catch you on the next one, and let me know what is your favorite alt art secret rare, and enjoy yourself at game night. Bye.